Daniel Negreanu is looking down at Jack 10 suited. Pre-flop begins with a spectacular collision of three of the most recognizable icons in poker history.
All right, let's go 24. We're gonna play poker now, and we're just sitting out and watching from the sidelines, right?
That's not your
Can't
style.
win. Eventually, I mean, I was trying it, the tight thing.
Phil Ivey, sitting in position with Ace-King offsuit, decides that the price of admission must be higher.
All right. It's a party.
However, Antonio is waiting in the wings with pocket eights. Rather than four-betting and risking a fold from his opponents, he chooses to flat call. Negreanu, getting an excellent price and closing the action, makes the call. The flop falls a statistical miracle for Negreanu. He has flopped trip tens, giving him a near stranglehold on the hand. After Ivey checks his missed overcards, Antonio decides to seize the betting lead. He fires a bet of 104,000. This is a probing bet designed to define where he stands. Negreanu, holding the monster, executes a textbook slow play. He simply smooth calls, wanting to keep both Ivey and Antonio in the pot with their bluffs or second-best hands. Ivey, recognizing that he is crushed, wisely finds the fold.
You got a lot of ideas in your head over there, huh? He's always got ideas.
The turn brings the king, a card that is heavy with psychological weight. It is a scare card that connects with Ivey's folded range, but it also provides Antonio with a new narrative to represent. Antonio, undeterred by Negreanu's flop call, fires a second barrel of 204,000. He is telling a story that he has flopped a set of sixes or has turned a pair of kings. In reality, he is turning his pocket eights into a massive semi-bluff.
Where did my money go?
Negreanu, still sitting on the effective nuts, refuses to budge, perfectly playing the role of a player who is suspicious but actually has the board locked. By not raising, Negreanu allows Antonio to keep the aggression going. The river is the 5.
Get in that cage.
A complete brick that changes absolutely nothing regarding hand hierarchy. Antonio, having fired two massive shells and being met with two stubborn calls, finally hits the brakes. He checks, likely realizing that Negreanu is not folding whatever he has.
I'll put this over here, right? And then all in.
All you can eat.
255.
200. No. It's actually 475.
Wait a minute. I thought I had... Okay, never mind. That's so stupid. I do that all the time. I thought I had 275 left.
We've seen Daniel play the confused old man before. It's about as believable as a compliment from Antonio or a sickly cough from Hardigan. Either way, it's gonna get a fold. 5, 4, 3, 2, fold.
You know, Phil knows when this comes out.
When what comes out? Oh, the value card.
Phil knows I never leave home without a 10. You know, anytime Phil's in a pot, I got a 10.
It's amazing how many times he has.
Yeah. I really thought when you bet 204, I thought I had 250 left, not 450. Not like it matters much. That's when I said, where'd my chips go?
How do you flop sets like that? Strong.
He does it.
That's
with
how I
one
play.
hand and you just flop strips. No big deal. You know, I'm Daniel Negreanu. Yeah, it's like 20 years it's been happening, you know?
That's what I've been doing for 20 years. It still works. I was suited.
I'll play. Sure. 10-10-6.
Yeah. It's a mystery, huh?
You almost had me too. I was going to do
You were
something
going to do
stupid.
it? It looked like it. I was rooting for you.
The shot clock saved me.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on Jack 9 suited. He opens to $3,000 on the button, a classic small ball steal that also invites dominated jacks and queens to continue. Doyle Brunson flat calls in the small blind with Queen Jack suited, a smooth defend that keeps Negreanu's range wide and retains post-flop maneuverability.
Well, there's a lot of money out there, baby. A lot of money out there.
Go and get you some.
Troy Wiggins completes in the big blind with pocket fours for set value, and the stage is set. Brunson, holding top pair with a strong kicker, declines to bet into two players on a coordinated texture because checking keeps Negreanu's bluffs alive and avoids building a pot where he could be outkicked or check raised by club draws. The paired board reduces semi-bluffs, and Doyle seizes the lead for $8,000. From his seat, Negreanu's flop check capped him toward medium strength and draws, so Doyle's stab is designed to extract from worse jacks and to tax the clubs and queen-10 tight gutters. Negreanu calls rather than raise. The flat keeps the pot manageable against a range that still contains ace-jack or king-jack, keeps Doyle's bluffs and thin-value hands firing, and leverages position to make the final decision with maximum information. This river is a sneaky upgrade for Negreanu to 2-pair, while a large chunk of Doyle's range remains 1 pair of jacks. Doyle checks, signaling showdown mode rather than a polarized line. Negreanu now turns the knobs. His hand cleanly targets queen-jack and king-jack, while very rarely running into a slow-played full house on this sequence.
Biggest hand I've had.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on king-queen offsuit. The table is 4-way after Tony G opens, and Viffer, Negreanu, and Scott Seaver all come along. That matters because equities flatten in multi-way pots. Single-pair hands lose value while nutted, and draw-heavy holdings gain. Tony G's range from early position in this lineup still contains suited connectors.
This is room for everyone to keep improving.
I mean, the way you guys all play, there's certainly tons of room.
Yeah.
Scott calls.
I'm gonna go with an old Hellmuth trick. Watch this, gentlemen. Check in the dark. How do you fade that? Seriously, check in the dark. I don't even want to see what's coming.
Checking through is revealing. On this texture, the pre-flop raiser has a lot of 1-pair and gut shot combinations that dislike being raised by 3 players.
See how that worked? Because if I wouldn't have done that, they would have been more scared. My turn, right?
Daniel's still open-ended.
Did you qualify?
Yes, I've qualified pretty comfortably at this point. Question is, how much do I want to put in there?
You checked.
No, I'm not, for sure.
He's not checking?
Yeah, if you're folding any bet, you can just do that now. I'm gonna put in,
The turn is the 7 of spades, a huge card for Tony G's side of the range, and a bad one for capped checkbacks. Negreanu leads $3,600 into the field, a small sizing that targets folds from the Broadway airballs, and denies equity to Queen 9, 9-8, and the club draws. Scott's call with Queen Jack keeps dominated queens in, but the raise from Tony G to $14,000 is the pivotal data point. After a street of passivity, that raise is heavily weighted to value.
If I win the pot, I'll give you your money back.
Negreanu's call with King-Queen looks ambitious only if you ignore blocker logic. He removes the queen that completes Tony G's higher straight and retains outs to the ace or 9 to make his own. Scott correctly recognizes he's in kicker jail and releases.
Wow, that was a big sweat.
Took a long time. That speech really got him.
he made a big laydown just now.
The river is the 9 of diamonds. Range-wise, it's a dagger for Tony G. His made straight from the turn remains a straight, but Negreanu's king-queen now upgrades to the higher straight. When Negreanu fires $35,000, the story is polarized between exactly that high straight and bluffs that bricked clubs or random Queen X that tried to push Tony G off a 1-pair hand.
Are you also offering my 4,800 back if you...
Tony calls and Daniel wins a $100,000 pot.
I had the nuts on the turn. Wow, well done.
Felt like
The one time that you called a 3-bet of mine out of position, you won the hand. Maybe you should just keep doing that. Just try it out. You never know.
How about who's 3-bet the most hands? I'll bet that.
I think he might have.
I think it's you.
Really? Who was I 3-betting?
Joe?
Oh, that's just you. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Maybe it was me.
Jones opens to 1,600 from early position with a tight linear range, big aces, broadways, and medium-high pairs. Negreanu flats with King of Hearts and Queen of Diamonds. Calling keeps dominated queens in play, realizes position, and preserves a range that still contains suited connectors, pocket pairs, and the occasional trap Brunson overcalls, which further compresses Jones's value because multi-way pots punish thin barrels. In multi-way, that texture leans toward the callers. Negreanu owns more 2-pair and set combinations, along with many diamond draws and straight draws. Jones's continuation bet of 4,500 represents overpairs and his equity bluffs such as Jack-10 or high diamond holdings. Negreanu check call with King-Queen is deliberate. It keeps his range uncapped. He can still have value from sets and 2-pair while also containing strong draws. The turn is the 4 of spades, a true brick. Pairs do not change. Straights brick and a slight spade draw occurs in the mind of our players. When Jones fires $12,500, he's polarizing into overpairs and ace-queen for value and a healthy set of bricked diamonds and gut shots for bluffs. Negreanu calls again because king-queen sits high in his range and carries ideal blocker properties. The queen reduces combinations of ace-queen, and the king reduces king-queen. The river is the two of spades, another brick that fails to complete for our guys but puts the danger of a flush for both of them. Jones decides to represent it and places the third barrel for $20,500, telling the big hand or nothing story. From a range lens, that story is understuffed with value on this runout. Sets in two-pair were already threatened by draws and often size up earlier. Many overpairs slow down on such a wet board once called twice. Meanwhile, the bluff bucket is overflowing. Negreanu, whose exact holding is a textbook bluff catcher. It blocks top pair value, does not block spades, and sits near the top of his call range after declining to raise earlier streets.
I don't like the way I played this hand, to be honest with you. 22-5. I really don't like it. I don't think. Oh man, could he value bet a worse hand than me? Sorry, I'm gonna need a minute. I don't know what to do. You want to show me a card for any price? I don't know.
For any
One
price?
card? Yeah, I mean, I'll give you $1,000 to show me a card. Is that a no? Okay. I'll give you $2,000 to show me one card. And pretty soon I'll get to a price he wants.
Probably 23,600.
I will give you $3,000 to see one card.
It's on my anniversary. Go ahead. Stall it up.
Sorry. Okay, $4,000, and I just want to see one card.
Take it and show him the 10 of spades.
All right, he's not taking any bait. I'm not going any higher than that. It's too late to play good, so I'm just going to go with Old Faithful and pray and just hope he's bluffing.
He is.
Does he have? Phew. Okay.
Daniel takes it down.
I was about to say, I swear, I was like, if you have specifically the 10 of spades in your hand.
You should show it.
Daniel Negreanu has pocket kings.
Raises.
Yeah, queen high. Queen high?
He opens the pot to $1,200, a classic early position flex that targets the blinds and sets up a pot he can steer in position. Phil Hellmuth, smooth, calls, choosing pot control and range protection over a thin 3-bet. Eugene Kachelov comes along as well with ace-9, content to realize in position and take a multi-way flop against two ranges that can play face-up on ace-high textures. Kachelov checks the ace-high flop, protecting a top-pair hand with a middling kicker and letting the action declare itself. Negreanu checks behind. Pocket kings hate attacking into two players on an ace board, and the slowdown keeps weaker hands and bluffs alive while controlling the pot. Hellmuth takes the invitation and fires $1,200, a small stab meant to fold out nothing hands and price set against exactly these cautious checks. Kachelov calls, signaling he is not afraid of a little heat with top pair. Negreanu overcalls, a cagey line that keeps both ranges uncapped and disguises the true strength of kings by wearing the same hoodie as ace-X.
You too, Daniel?
Yeah.
My God.
You didn't expect two calls, right?
No,
Just one.
I was expecting one call.
No.
All three check the turn after the 8 rolls off. That card changes little. Kachelov sees no need to inflate with his kicker problem. Hellmuth's one-and-done bluff correctly shuts down into two sticky ranges, and Negreanu continues the sandbag, preserving the option to spring value or bluff catch on rivered scare cards. The river drops the king of clubs and the trap wakes up. Kachelov leads $4,200, thin value that hopes to get paid by worse aces and denies a free showdown to stubborn pairs. Negreanu answers with a raise to $14,200, selling a story consistent with a slow-played monster or a patient ace that improved, and crucially targeting the very hand Kachelov is value betting.
I think Phil's Hollywooding a bit here since he bet out on the flop.
Hellmuth gets out of the way, his earlier poke having run its course. Faced with a credible, disciplined raise from a player who never overbets his bluffs, Kachelov has to reassess whether ace-9 is really a cash-out hand or a tip jar. What is your read? Are you folding or calling in Kachelov's position? Let me know in the comments.
And Eugene folds.
I had at least that.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at Queen 7 suited.
36. So you have a few more years before you get in that Poker Hall of Fame. You're both going to get in, for sure. 100%. Cool. You two. I don't know, but no offense, I don't think you guys are getting yet. Maybe. A little bit.
I'm
Maybe
not,
some
I'm
more
not,
stuff.
I'm not.
That's all I ever wanted to do in my life.
In your life was
get
being
in the Poker Hall of Fame.
Fame.
It's like a little ceremony and
Yeah.
what do they do there?
It was probably
Have free food.
cool, right? It was
I didn't think
cool.
it was a big. I was like,
When's
I
your
didn't care.
ceremony? When's your ceremony?
Oh, it was already done. November last year.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah, you were supposed to speak there for me and all that. You were busy.
You were supposed to speak.
I don't know where you were. Yeah.
I would have came to it. I didn't even know.
Pre-flop begins in the high-stakes environment of the shark cage, where the unique shot clock and penalty rules add an extra layer of psychological stress to every decision.
Raise. 30,000.
Negreanu, the master of small ball and reading souls, decides to widen his range significantly from late position. He opens the action to 30,000 holding Queen 7 of clubs. While this is a statistically loose open, Negreanu relies on his ability to outmaneuver his opponents post-flop. The flop falls a disconnected and dry board texture that seemingly favors the pre-flop caller. Antonio has an overpair to the board, but true to his defensive line, he checks to the razor. Negreanu, holding absolutely nothing but queen high, chooses a very disciplined checkback. The turn brings the 6, a card that adds a layer of complexity to the board. Antonio, sensing that the free pass on the flop has ended, decides to take the betting lead. He fires 53,000. He is betting for value and protection. Negreanu, now holding significant equity with his straight draw and his overcard queen, makes the easy call. The river is the 4. Antonio looks at the board and sees nothing but low cards. He remains convinced that his pocket tens are an unbeatable overpair in this specific spot. He decides to go for a massive value bet, firing 100,000 into the pot. This is where the trap snaps shut.
So he wants to go to the cage, is what he's saying? I think you might go. I don't know. So if he's bluffing, I call him. He goes, hangs out there for a little while. Ah.
Daniel calls with his straight. Boom.
Antonio, let's see that.
He goes to go to the cage, right? If it's a bluff. No value, never mind.
You thought it was another card?
Straight.
Yeah,
I have
he's got
straight.
Straight with Queen 7.
Of course.
God, you just get there.
I do. That's how I play.
I do. That's how I play.
You just
so happy.
so sick.
The worst winner ever.
You just look so steamed every time Daniel beats
He
you.
always has it. Unbelievable.
Like, you wouldn't be upset if I beat you like that, would you?
No.
Not as
No.
It's annoying the way that I win. I'm like Floyd Mayweather, you know? Boring to watch, but I win. I find a way.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at pocket queens. Pre-flop begins in the high-stakes arena of the Poker Stars Caribbean Adventure, featuring a legendary confrontation between two of the game's greatest icons, Daniel Negreanu and Eric Seidel. The hand serves as a masterclass in how even the world's best players can talk themselves into disaster when they prioritize the metagame over the actual strength of their cards.
I guess this goes as a raise then.
So Daniel puts him all in. And Eric is drawing to an ace
234, right?
with his tournament on the line.
Where my hubris stuff.
Eric was already not in great shape. We saw Jonathan fold an ace.
The flop is all clubs.
That's good, right? Yeah, clubs. I was double checking that I had the club.
One ace left.
Oh, you had an ace too?
No. I say one ace left. Yeah, no. Ace the club. No,
Ace
I know.
finito.
I don't like this. No.
Doesn't look good, does it?
At least for Eric's sake, Jonathan folded the one ace that's no good to him.
And that'll do it. The flush for Negreanu.
All right, good luck, kid.
Everybody limps to Negreanu's big blind, happy to take an almost family pot with the loose cannon.
Buddy, he shows you nothing. He showed me a full house.
And there goes Tony G. See ya.
The flop comes rainbow, but both Negreanu and Helmuth hit top pair. Wiggins and Daniel check. Lack attacks the standard range poke on this dry board, hoping no one has a queen. Helmuth immediately bumps it to protect the queen and tacks any potential draws, denying price to gutters. Wiggins gets out of the way. Daniel now springs the trap and re-raises to more than $11,000.
Phil Lock.
See ya.
and tries to rep a bigger queen at Phil's, and it sets the tone that the big blind can still own boards that strike his defending range. Phil, with queen 9 in position, makes the call. He beats every bluff, ties some value, and thinks Daniel can be overprotecting a queen or leaning on fold equity. The turn pairs the board with the 2 of diamonds. That card massively reduces the number of value combos Daniel must fear. But more importantly, the pair deuce kills a lot of Phil's semi-bluff equity and makes it harder for Phil to credibly have a monster. Daniel fires 12,000. This bet is thin for value plus protection, denies free cards, and prevents Phil from realizing with hands that raised flop light. Phil calls again, which is consistent with his plan to bluff catch capped lines and keep Daniel honest on rivers. The river is the 7 of clubs, a relative brick that doesn't complete the major straight draws. Daniel checks.
A queen. Me too. No kicker.
Chop pot.
Okay. I screwed that up. I should have moved in on the river. Damn it. God, I'm so unlucky. Stupid. Unreal. The deuce on the turn.
Deuce on the turn saves your ass.
Sick. He's supposed to bet there. I'm going to move it in. Who are these guys? Where do they come from? Sick.
Daniel Negreanu kicks things off with Queen Jack offsuit. He is raised to $2,800, but is up against Tony G with Ace King offsuit.
Action folds over to Tony G, who makes the call.
2 strong hands going into the flop.
Queen 6 Jack.
King of the world.
Check by Tony G.
Tony G's missed. Daniel's going to fire with top 2.
Bets 5,500.
Tony G knows Negreanu would bet this flop even if he had nothing, but he decides not to go for a semi-bluff raise, and instead, he floats, letting Daniel tell his tale while he quietly waits for something on the turn.
Tony has 2 overcards, even though they're no good. He's really only looking for a 10 to make a gut shot.
There it is.
Tony G tries to keep a poker face as he just hit his straight. He knows Daniel Negreanu is the best of all time at reading people. This is a critical moment to let Daniel continue building the pot. He checks, letting Daniel think 2 pair is the best hand here. Tony is in total control right now, patiently waiting for the right time to make his next raise get called.
Daniel bets 14 grand. A raise to 50,000 by Tony G.
A quick raise of 50,000. Tony's the kind of player that could be doing this with a worse 2 pair. He could be doing it with a draw. He could be doing it with flat out nothing, but a raise that big, that fast, usually means only one of 2 things, a monster hand or a monster bluff.
Daniel makes the call.
Tony using his hand to keep his mouth closed because it's probably watering right now.
The river gives Daniel a full house.
These 2 have been playing against each other at the highest level for 3 decades.
Tony checks.
Negreanu knows Tony has a straight, as you will see in his prediction at the end. He's not worried about being beaten here. He's just doing the math now. What's the number Tony G can't resist calling here?
Bet 80.
Negreanu makes it 80,000 to go. Snap call from Tony.
Negreanu shows him the bad news, hands him the keys of the city.
You had Ace King.
Yep. Well done, Daniel. Well done.
Played it good.
Nice dealer.
Sorry, Tony. You played it good.
Daniel Negreanu is holding Queen Jack offsuit. He opens to $2,500. That's a bread and butter late position open, dominates the Queen 10 and Jack 10 holdings that call too often, has blockers to 3 bets, and plays cleanly post-flop in position. 3 callers flatten with wide capped ranges, offsuit broadways, suited aces, suited connectors, paired high card textures heavily favor the pre-flop raiser because he has all the strong Queen X and slow-played overpairs. Many callers arrive with 8x, pocket pairs, floats, or the diamond backdoors. Negreanu continuation bets $6,000 into a multi-way field, small sizing that targets folds from ace-high and underpairs while keeping dominated Queen X and diamond draws in. When Hashem continues, his range is mostly Queen X, pocket pairs stubbornly peeling, and diamond hands. Ace-high floats with backdoor equity also show up. The board double pairs, which is a dream card for the raiser's Queen X. Negreanu's value density jumps because any queen now makes a full house, and his bluffs retain good fold equity against stubborn pocket pairs and busted backdoors. He bets $12,000, again a pressure, but keep worse in sizing. Given action, Hashem is rarely trapping queens. He's weighted to diamonds, ace-high floats, and the occasional pocket pair praying for a river miracle. That river improves a lot of Hashem's floats to 1 pair of aces, but it doesn't dent Negreanu's nut edge. Queens still bowed up, 8s don't exist for Hashem often, and missed diamonds remain abundant. After Hashem checks the third time, Negreanu fires $27,000 for clear value.
As we young internet kids say, you're polarized. Isn't that right, Jose?
Yeah. It's polarized.
It's polarized.
You haven't fuffled. Show me one.
Okay. Daniel shows the jack.
I fold.
Oh, damn it.
Daniel Negreanu is about to play 6-deuce suited. Phil Hellmuth opens to 800 with King 10 offsuit, the kind of loose early raise he uses to test the waters and try to play pots post-flop. Negreanu immediately leans on it, re-raising to 3,600. With 6-2 suited, this is not about raw card strength. It is about punishing Phil's wide open, isolating the weakest range at the table, and taking the betting lead in position.
Who lost the last pot?
Doyle Brunson cold calls with pocket jacks, a classic trap that keeps worse hands in and avoids turning his medium-high pair into a bluff catcher against a 4-bet. Getting the price and curious to navigate post-flop, Phil comes along. That is a very Negreanu result. His pre-flop 3-bet range contains plenty of big queens, overpairs, and high card backdoors, so checking back keeps his range wide and ambiguous while realizing equity with his suited wheel trash. It also invites Phil to fire turns from out of position and forces Doyle to reveal how comfortable he is with jacks on a coordinated board. When Negreanu declines to c-bet, he preserves the option to attack later streets if either opponent betrays weakness with sizing or timing. The turn is the 4 of spades, a deceptively important card. It adds real backdoor flush pressure while also nudging straight grids like 3-6 into view. Phil leads 7,000 into about 19,000, a classic mid-sizing that tries to win the pot before the board becomes scarier. Against Daniel, that size usually reads as one pair or air rather than a queen or better that wants protection and volume. Daniel just calls. He is not chasing, he is keeping Phil's bluffs alive, protecting his own strong hands that would play this way, slow-played queens and some spade floats, and setting up maximum leverage on rivers that amp up the story. Doyle, now sandwiched in hating life with jacks, lets it go. The river is the 2 of spades, completing the backdoor spade flush and putting 4 to a wheel in the picture. It is a nightmare card for capped 1-pair holdings. Phil drops a 6,000 block bet, a telltale sizing that asks for a cheap showdown and implicitly admits he does not love his hand. Daniel pounces and raises to 46,000. What does he represent? From Phil's seat, it is coherent for Daniel to have exactly the hands his line preserved, 2 spades that checked flop multi-way, called the turn lead, and now raise for value, or a slow-played queen with a spade that upgrades from bluff catcher to thin value on a bet-blocked river.
Speech time. It's gotta come.
He might have like 6-9 offsuit. It's Daniel. Good bet.
And Phil lays it down.
Finally got there. Took a while, but
6-9.
I had you.
He nailed it. Look at that. That's sick. That's not gonna look good on TV. Yeah, whatever that is, it's not gonna look good. That's gonna be bad for a profile, unfortunately.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down on Queen 3 offsuit. He opens to $4,000 after folds.
I like this.
That raise comes from a range that includes most suited queens and bluffs that keep him wide versus 2 sticky callers. Kenny's flat call is very playable if he expects the opener to fire too often and the blinds to continue light. Solomon closes the action. This paired low board heavily favors the pre-flop raisers c-bet strategy. Negreanu owns the overpairs and all the hands that can bet small. Kenny's check call range is condensed, ace high, mid pairs, and some slow-played overpairs. Negreanu's bet is the modern range-wide stab. It denies equity from 2 overcards and keeps his value and bluff buckets indistinguishable. Kenny calls, which already caps him away from many check-raise value hands. Texture changes a little. 7-6 and 6-3 improve to straights, and Solomon's backdoor 8x would have picked up top pair, but he's gone. For the 2 players left, Negreanu still retains a nut advantage portfolio of overpairs, plus the occasional 5x suited. His bluffs pick up backdoors only rarely, so he leans on fold equity. 16,000 pressures, exactly what Kenny showed on the flop, ace high and pocket pairs under 10s. Kenny's call again narrows him to ace-queen and ace-king high, pocket sixes through nines, and a few traps. Crucially, he almost never has trips or a turned 8 that wants to raise, so his range remains capped. When Kenny checks a third time, his range is now mostly ace-high and middling pairs, hoping to get to showdown. He has very few slow-played monsters after declining to raise earlier streets on such a safe runout. Negreanu fires a polarized overbet adjacent sizing. What does he represent? Overpairs that bet all 3 streets and the thin value of a 5x that never feared a raise. What does he target? Exactly ace-queen, ace-king, and pocket 7s through 9s.
Kenny folds.
That's one of those, right, Phil?
That was fun to watch.
Let's see it then.
You want to see it? You don't want to see it. It'll tilt you, for sure.
Let's see.
I want to see it then.
You guys really want to see? Make the game better? All right, show one for the boys.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 7-4 offsuit. Pre-flop begins with a straddle from Lou, a move that encourages action and bloats the pot before a card is dealt. Negreanu, sensing an opportunity to attack the money in the middle with position, raises to 1,600. However, he is doing this with absolute air. It is a move designed to steal the pot right there, relying on his image rather than his cards. Phil Lack, sitting in the small blind with Queen 9 offsuit, decides to defend.
Oh, three-way.
Crafty Daniel's priced in Lou with any 2.
Okay, guys,
What would you, surprised it's 3-way?
No, I guess not.
The flop falls with 2 hearts. Looking at Negreanu's pre-flop raise, Lack decides to check, likely fearing an overpair. Lou checks his air. Negreanu has flopped a sneaky open-ended straight draw. Instead of continuation betting and risking a check raise, Negreanu checks back. The turn brings the 8 of hearts, an absolute action card. It puts 3 hearts on the board, completing a potential flush, but more importantly for Negreanu, it completes his straight. Lack checks again, wary of the scary board texture. Lou, however, decides to take a stab. Holding the jack of hearts, he has a high flush draw and decides to turn it into a semi-bluff. He bets 3,000. Negreanu, sitting with the made straight but fearful of the flush, decides to just flat call.
Lock joins us?
He wants to keep Lou's bluffs in, but he also doesn't want to blow up the pot if someone is sitting on a flush. The river is the ace. Lack and Lou check to the button. Negreanu now has a clear value betting situation. He bets 5,500. It is a perfectly sized bet, small enough to entice a call from a sticky pair or 2 pair, but large enough to get value.
I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to go like 26,000, but something's saying don't do it, Phil. I'm not gonna do it.
Lack, looking at his pair of 9s, realizes he beats nothing but a total bluff. He folds.
And lose out.
I was up to 37% on 26 times.
Well, I don't know why you didn't do it.
That's the highest
I obviously had to come. I had to have it. Well, if I show a 4, I had to have something there, like a 7 or an ace of hearts.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at pocket 7s. Pre-flop creates a fascinating collision between 2 distinct eras of poker. The live read intuition of Negreanu and the high-volume mathematical precision of the online legend, Randy Lou. The action begins with a raise to 1,600 from the loose cannon, who is holding pocket 9s. Negreanu, sitting in position with pocket 7s, elects to flat call. This is a staple of Negreanu's small ball strategy. He wants to see a flop cheaply and use his post-flop skills to navigate, rather than bloating the pot with a marginal pair. However, Randy Lou wakes up in the small blind with pocket queens. Recognizing the dead money and the capped strength of the caller, Lou executes a textbook squeeze play, 3-betting to 6,000.
I know you're coming in. Hurry up.
You know it, right? You raised anyway. What is that all about?
What was that?
You knew I was calling, but you raised anyway.
You're reading too much into it, man.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to level myself here. I just want to try to flop a set, hit a set, and get it in. Can we do that? Huh?
You have a pair, dude.
Well, if I'm trying to flop a set, what do you think I started with?
The stage is set, an overpair against a set minor, a classic recipe for a cooler. The flop falls a disconnected and dry texture that is an absolute dream for Lou's pocket queens. There are no flush draws and no overcards to his pair. Lou continues his aggression with a bet of 8,000. He is extracting value from hands like pocket eights to tens, as well as any jack that Negreanu might have peeled with. Negreanu, however, is not ready to go away.
Interesting situation, okay? Because I have 3 threes right now. You don't believe that?
I don't know.
How
I
much
believe
is it?
a lot of people. I believe a lot of people.
So the best way to play this against you, based on previous hands, is to call, raise river, I think. Okay? So that's plan A. I might change my mind, but plan A is call, ship river.
All right.
That's plan A. You like that? I'm just going to tell him, whatever.
I'm a little worried.
The turn brings the 7, the card that flips the script entirely. It is the Doom card for Lou. Negreanu spikes a 2-outer to make a set of 7s. The dynamic shifts from a marginal float to a monster trap. Lou, unaware of the disaster that has just struck, fires a second barrel of 20,000. He believes his queens are still the best hand and wants to charge draws or a stubborn jack. Negreanu's response is pure class.
He doesn't believe me. I seriously say I'm going to do that, and he doesn't care. Oh, gosh.
Everyone lies. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Word on the street.
So is plan A still the plan? I'd like to defer.
You gotta respect internet guys that chat during hands. That's a very rare thing, and to that, hats off. He's chatted in the middle. If somebody's dialoguing with him, he just opens the door and goes there.
Oh.
Even I don't do that. I try not to,
So it's
but
a
I do
mistake?
it.
Is that a mistake? Thanks for the...
I'm leveling myself too much. I call.
Daniel calls.
If I keep thinking, I'm going to screw up really bad.
This is awesome. We're still sticking to the plan.
The river is the ace, a scare card that complicates the board. It hits Lou's bluffing range, but also potentially scares a pair of queens. However, Lou decides to turn his hand into a polarized value bet bluff hybrid. He fires a massive 47,800. He is representing the ace, trying to fold out a jack or a smaller pair.
I'm now worried that you just made 3 aces. How much does he have? How much did he bet?
Fired 47,800.
I told you I have 3 threes and you just don't care? Or you have that beat, right?
Well, if I talk too much, I might let you know what I have.
Bro, the thing is, when you talk, you might get the other result. You might get wins that you shouldn't have got, etc. You know.
That's true.
It's not all.
How light is Daniel thinking of calling this time?
What's he got left? Let's see. I can't see. Just lift your hand. That's good. It really smells like aces.
Does that mean Daniel was already beating a pair of aces?
Pocket aces? Oh, it's a difference. I can't fold anyway.
Calls.
Queens.
Turn to set.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Nice hand.
Negreanu is looking down on pocket deuces. Luca opens to 30K with pocket nines, a bread-and-butter early raise that covers a wide band of low and middling boards and pressures the offsuit broadways behind him. The hand wants callers who show up with overcards and then miss. It also doesn't mind playing smaller pots where it can value bet cleanly across safe runouts. Negreanu flat calls with pocket deuces. Small pairs love this configuration. He has position to control price. Stacks are deep enough to realize implied odds, and keeping it single raise preserves all the set and wheel runouts that print against one pair. Turning deuces into a 3-bet would just funnel Luca into strong overpairs and invite a 4-bet. Calling keeps the deck wide and the story flexible. The flop comes low and connected, exactly the texture where the caller can credibly have all the sets and the occasional 4-2 or 6-5. Luca makes the routine range C-bet for 28K. On this board, the small size folds out pure air, taxes random overcards like ace-queen, and keeps worse-made hands honest without bloating the pot or polarizing his range. Negreanu's raised to 95K. From this configuration is perfectly believable. He's repping sets, 2-pair like 6-5 suited, and some straights. With deuces, he isn't spinning it. He holds a live gutter to the wheel plus 2 cleanouts to a set, so he's applying pressure with real equity while seizing the narrative. The sizing forces overpairs and top pairs to define themselves now, rather than getting a cheap turn that could punish them. Luca's call protects his overpairs and some slow plays, but it also hands tempo to Negreanu and nudges Luca toward a bluff-catch posture on a lot of turns. He's inviting Negreanu to keep telling the story and hoping to catch him on a bad card. The turn pairs the 3 and Luca checks. It's a tricky card for both players. It slightly trims the number of set combos. Negreanu repped on the flop, while making overpairs feel a touch safer against bluffs and draws. Negreanu checks back. That's the disciplined pivot. Firing again would polarize on a card that dulls his set story and invites stubborn calls from exactly the hands he wants to move on the river. The river is the 8 of clubs, and Luca checks a 3rd time. After flop pressure and turn control, that third check leaves his range heavy on single pair hands that hate facing a big ask.
Daniel bets ridiculously big, 400K. Wow. And Luca folds.
Negreanu is holding deuce 4 suited from the small blind, but he's up against Veldhuis and Harlow, who both have him beat. For now.
King 8 suited for Lex, raised to 1400. Suited 1 gapper for Daniel in the small blind. He calls. Ace 8 for Russ. He's in.
Flop comes ace jack 6. Negreanu understandably checks, but Harlow also checks with pair of aces, giving Veldhuis a free opportunity to scare them off.
He does, betting 2700.
Lex's bet could easily just be a C-bet, which it is, and Russ checked, so he looks pretty weak.
Daniel should definitely be folding here. I have no idea why he's counting his chips. It's hard to imagine a scenario where chasing this draw is worth it. He raises to 7,200. Harlow is in a good spot here with 95% chance to win.
Best hand.
But he folds.
That's a ridiculous fold. Russ just doesn't have enough time or chips to fold there. Why call pre-flop if you're going to fold top pair?
This is why you must attack first on the flop, especially with pair of aces. This could easily be a bluff, but Veldhuis has to think carefully, because even though he's got 80% equity, a king high is not something you usually call with on this flop against Negreanu.
Lex calls.
A stone float.
The turn would have given Russ trips.
Negreanu checks it over, clearly not feeling confident about his 4-2 offsuit. He's looking to see if Veldhuis will take a stab at this pot, but he also checks behind.
The river, the 9 of hearts.
Both these guys were up to the same thing, checking the turn so they can fire a bet on the river without it having to be too big.
There's that Veldhuisian stare.
Negreanu looks like he will try to represent the flush on the river. If he doesn't bet high enough, he might get raised by Veldhuis.
He bets 9,000.
This is a pretty good bet from Daniel. 9,000 makes it seem like he wants to get called. Looks like Lex might have to reconsider his float plans. Lex could very well fold this or follow through on the float maybe, but I don't see him calling.
He does call.
King Haya? That's good. Nice call. Jeez. What the hell was that?
That is just a sick, sick call.
Negreanu is holding pocket fives and he's raising to 95,000. He's up against the legends Tom Dwan with pocket 9s and Phil Ivey with pocket 10s.
Over to Tom Dwan.
That's not a hand Dwan would fold. Not against Daniel. And definitely not in a $250,000 buy-in. Tom looks like he's thinking, I'm pretty sure he shouldn't flat and trap, but rather crank up the pressure early.
Dwan has just made a call with pocket 9s. Perhaps at another time he might have raised. Oh, check this out. Phil Ivey's picked up pocket 10s.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty
he's
surprised.
Just called.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised by the flat call from Phil. It's usually a spot where you'd like to squeeze, especially the fact that he's on the button. It's going to look pretty fishy and quite possibly have someone play back at him.
Mike Haxton folds.
The flop comes 3 queen 6, 2 spades. Negreanu opened with pocket 5s, whiffed the flop completely, and now he's first to act on this board, with Dwan and Ivey behind him, who are not exactly known for playing nice when they smell weakness.
Misses all of them. A check from Daniel. This will be interesting.
I don't think any of the three of them are going to be too thrilled with that flop, to be honest. Queen's certainly in the calling range of Tom and Phil. Hands like King Queen, Ace Queen. I expect Phil will just check this back as well.
Phil does. We'll see a turn.
The turn is the 4 of clubs, and things are starting to line up for some sneaky draws. No one took a stab on the flop, which means this pot's still up for grabs, and Negreanu knows it.
And given the fact that he was a pre-flop aggressor, both players have checked back the flop.
He does take a stab.
Dwan isn't just thinking about his cards. He's scanning Daniel and Phil like he's picking up frequencies. These guys are playing poker on a different level. Every glance, every pause, every chip toss. There's a language here only the elite understand, and Dwan is fluent.
I think Tom is more than happy to peel one here with 9s. He's got to assume that Daniel's going to bet a queen on the flop there.
He's got his eye on both Daniel and Phil, looking at across the table to both players, and he smooth calls here. So round to Phil Ivey, and this is a tough spot.
Even though he does have the best hand, it's probably correct to fold.
Yeah, well, Phil Ivey kind of stuck there. Tom Dwan now eyes only on Daniel Negreanu, and the river's a 2 of hearts.
And Daniel gets there.
Oh, Daniel checking. He's going to try and trap him. And look at this, it might work. Dwan reaching for chips.
I check.
Oh, wow, Tom Dwan checks. Daniel not happy.
I don't bet my friends, you know? I don't bet my friends.
Wow, Dwan's really relieved.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 6-5 offsuit. Preflop begins with the kind of passive, loose dynamic that is often the calm before a violent storm.
Hey, Tony, did you used to play basketball in Australia?
Yeah, I did.
You were really good?
I was not good, but I used to play.
He played.
Just like poker.
Yeah.
I just battle.
Are you a good shooter?
Bobby gonna start playing
I'm reasonable. I'm not sure if good. I mean, probably like not bad if there's no defense.
Seaver called. Tony folds.
Probably, I don't know, 75% from the three-point line.
75%?
I think that's not very high with no defense. That's not high.
From an NBA three or
No, from the
European three?
Yeah. That's not high.
In a game featuring aggressive pros, a 5-way limped pot is a rare occurrence, creating a family pot scenario where ranges are completely undefined. The flop falls, a texture that looks relatively harmless but is actually a powder keg. Cannon has flopped a massive bottom 2 pair, giving him a stranglehold on the board. The action checks around to Cannon, the last to act. He bets 3,000, a standard stab at the pot. While the others fold, Negreanu sees an opportunity.
Sura folds.
We go to a gym.
Let's go to a gym. Let's bet.
Bet.
I smell a season 3 feature.
And Negreanu will draw.
We do, yeah, I'll bet the whole stack. I can do. We'll have 100 shots in 4 days' time. I got to make 70.
4 days.
Seaver folds.
4 days, I'll tell you where. I'll bet the whole stack.
What's wrong with right now?
Need to... I've had a lot of vodka.
He has flopped an open-ended straight draw, needing a 2 or a 7 to make a straight. Negreanu makes the call, floating the bet with the intention of either hitting his hand or outplaying Cannon on later streets. The turn brings the 4, a card that fundamentally changes the psychology of the hand. Structurally, it gives Cannon a full house, 4s full of 3s. However, from Negreanu's perspective, this is the perfect bluff card. Negreanu decides to represent the 4 himself. He leads out with a donk bet for 4,500. He is telling a story that he defended the blind with a 4 and has now turned trips. The river is the 8, a complete brick. Negreanu, committed to his story of having tripped 4s, decides to go for maximum value. He fires a massive bet of 16,500. He believes he has successfully polarized his range.
Wow. Big blind, big blind, big blind, big blind, big blind.
Since you've been so friendly about showing a card, I'm also going to show you one card. Okay? Let's see if this is the one. All right.
Daniel shows a 5.
You get one card and one card only.
This is the moment Cannon has been waiting for. He springs the trap, raising to 61,500. The air instantly leaves the room for Negreanu. He is an expert hand reader, and he realizes the trap he has walked into.
Oh, I should have literally... You can't raise. That's mean.
34% career.
Viffer's right to laugh. This is ridiculous.
Cannon stacking chips. There's the raise.
Oh, gross. What the hell is going on?
To 61.5.
That just made it all worth it, right there.
Oh, hang on.
Viffer, you agree, right? That was...
The problem is I cannot call. So I have to fold.
Another big pot for the Cannon.
I had 6 high.
Yeah, that's why you got to re-raise anyway. Come on.
If you bluffed that.
I knew you didn't. I knew you didn't.
Well, he obviously didn't. He had 6 high beat, almost for sure.
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 6-5 offsuit, but he's up against his nemesis of 20 years, Phil Ivey, who's holding King-Jack suited. Ivey raises to 75,000. Most players would probably fold in Daniel's spot.
No choice, can't fold it. Gotta see a flop in the big blind.
There's the call. So it's Daniel versus Phil.
Ivey is 64% favorite for now, but the flop comes 8-6-6 and Negreanu hits trips.
8 of hearts. I don't see Phil falling for this.
Phil checks too. I don't know how, but he can somehow feel Daniel is strong here.
A king on the turn. Now I see him falling for it a little.
Negreanu wants Phil second-guessing every assumption. Wants him trapped between is he bluffing and is he setting me up? What looks like hesitation is actually misdirection. This is less about cards, more about control.
Daniel leads. Phil now with top pair.
Even if you think Daniel has a 6, you can't just go folding top pair.
Negreanu's sizing here leaves Ivey about 3.5 to 1 on a call. And with top pair, that's usually a no-brainer. But what Daniel's really doing here is laying the groundwork for the river. He's planting the seed that says, if you call now, you're going to have to call big later. This is psychological compounding. Pressure applied in stages. Daniel is hoping that Phil did indeed hit that king on the turn, and he's going to try to make him sweat like a maniac.
He calls. The river is a jack.
Wow, Daniel is running better than Prefontaine.
Daniel value bets his trips. Phil forced to call with top two. Nope.
So obvious you have a 6. Got 350.
Trip sixes. Phil shows King Jack for top 2. Daniel's trip sixes takes 5.
Good call, good call. Good thing you didn't raise. That was smart. You know what you're doing.
You come to my game and you're wasting my time.
Tony G trash talked this guy for wasting time. So much that he ended up folding aces. But how did we get to this point? Let's watch a short clip.
We're not having no internet kids coming here and being tight ass. All right, and you're gonna play every
We're gonna
hand.
get that across right away.
I got it across and that was right. You're gonna play every hand here. You don't come here and play tight, okay?
Okay.
Come on internet you play like in 1 second. And what do you come here now? You come to my game and you're wasting my time.
Amanda, bring a tricycle.
These kids are coming here, taking me on.
Tony, calm down, please.
All of this fighting that we just saw culminates in the hand we are taking a look at today. Our hero is holding ace-jack offsuit and has already raised to $2,500. Let's see where his aggression will take him and us.
6 tray suited, good enough to call for Daniel. Queen Jack for Alan Berry, who folds.
It's a little tight, but he is dominated.
And Reynolds folds.
Also tight, both guys were out of position to the razor.
I'm very unhappy right now.
The flop comes deuce ace king with a flush draw for Negreanu and top pair for our hero. With everybody but Negreanu folding, our hero is in prime position with his pair of aces to take over the pot. He fires a small bet of $4,000, which Negreanu casually calls. I would bet more aggressively and try to defend the top pair from the flush draw.
The turn, the 10 of diamonds. Roble picks up a straight draw.
Daniel misses.
This 10 on the turn is a tricky one. On one hand, it denies the flush draw, but on the other opens up the straight draw. Negreanu bets a bit over half the pot and is bluffing really hard and praying the river delivers him a flush. Let's hope our hero sees through his bluff and at least call. And call he does. With the top pair and a gut shot straight draw, it will be crazy to fold the hand. The river delivers another 10, which completely wrecks both of our guys' hopes. The only question is who will bluff trip 10s first.
Daniel's got air, but if he wants to win this pot, he's going to have to use that air to blow Andrew off his hand.
After a short consideration, Negreanu fires a bet of $18,000, which sits at a bit over half the pot. And that bet will trigger a huge blow-up from Tony G, who is not even in the hand. Negreanu's bet is big from the perspective of our hero, so he takes his sweet time to consider his next action, which is usually completely reasonable on a cash game table, but not when Tony G is in the picture.
I'm going to walk out. If these guys are going to come here, waste my time, I'm going to walk out of the game. It's a joke. F***ing hell, he's thinking 20 minutes every f***ing hand he's playing. F***ing nit.
Here comes floorman Tom Keene, who's received more airtime than Hoyt Corkins, who went broken 8 hands in the big game.
All right, Andrew, we're going to go through the same thing.
You play online, it's like quick. 2 seconds, bang, bang, they're pressing buttons. They come here, they freeze up.
With the countdown already ticking, all the pressure in the world was on our hero and his pair of aces. Let me know in the comments what is the best hand that you regret folding.
He folds.
What?
Daniel Negreanu is looking down at 8-7 suited. Pre-flop reveals the exploitable nature of playing too many hands against world-class opposition. Lou opens the action to 1,400 with Queen 8 offsuit. From a game theory perspective, opening this hand from early to middle position is incredibly loose. It is a hand that is often dominated and plays poorly post-flop.
I'm going to play tight.
I like being in position. And lock is out.
Because then you got to go first. I love it.
I got to go first.
Kenny calls.
However, Lou relies on his post-flop volume experience to outplay opponents. The flop comes down a texture that is wet, connected, and heavily favors the calling ranges rather than the pre-flop raiser. Despite this, after Kenny checks, Lou decides to fire a continuation bet of 2,500. This bet is somewhat habitual. Lou is betting simply because he was the aggressor.
C-bet.
I remember his C-bet percentage. What was it? 78%, so I guess I got a call. Your check rate percentage is so low on flops in this spot, so I wasn't worried about you.
Yeah. Not worried is right.
However, the board hits Negreanu perfectly. He has flopped middle pair with his 7, along with backdoor equity. The turn card is the 2. Lou, realizing that his continuation bet failed to shake Negreanu, decides to shut down. He checks, effectively waving the white flag. This is a critical moment for Negreanu.
Check. Lou checks.
All right, check's good.
Queen eye.
No good.
Daniel takes it down.
Got pairs.
Nice hand.
Thank you, sir. Your C-bet percentage from online, I remember being very high, and your 3-bet percentage was 29%. Heads up. Do you remember that?
What does heads up? This is 6 max.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's still kind of short. But your C-bet's super high, so I'm gonna call with pairs on flops, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah. You love that kind of talk. Isn't that sexy?
No.
C-bet percentage, check raise flop. Ooh, what's your PFR and your aggro factor?
Negreanu is looking down on 10-9 suited. Shlomi opens to $475 with pocket kings, the classic early position value raise that invites dominated high cards to make mistakes. Boniati flats behind, a routine set mine that keeps the opener wide and creates a pot where overpairs are forced to play multi-way. On the button, Negreanu overcalls with 10-9 suited. He buys position against a likely overpair, keeps the pot single raised so his connected hand can realize, and preserves a post-flop story that can credibly arrive at straights and 2-pair on many middling runouts. With 3 players and deep stacks, Negreanu's plan is to control price now and fight for leverage later. The board rolls out wet and middle, exactly the texture that pressures an opener's range. Shlomi continuation bets $1,525 into 2 opponents to tax the spades and charge the gutters while protecting his likely overpair. Boniati steps aside, Negreanu continues. With top pair, strong kicker for this configuration, and position, calling is superior to raising. It keeps Shlomi's bluffs alive, avoids isolating versus the strongest value, and retains every turn card that can add equity or scare an overpair. He's now set up to maneuver without inflating the pot unnecessarily. The Queen of Hearts lands. That card is fine for kings, but improves Negreanu's believable value region to include Queen 9 and some 2-pair that could have peeled. Shlomi opts for a measured $2,125, continuing his value protection line, without bloating the pot on a card that helps the caller more than the pre-flop raiser. Negreanu calls again, disciplined and deliberate. He keeps his range uncapped, realizes equity with 10-9, and holds the option to seize the narrative on favorable rivers, or punish thin value bets with a polarizing raise. The river is the 8 of clubs, a quiet but meaningful shift that completes 6-7 and strengthens combos like 9-8 that Negreanu can absolutely show up with. Shlomi puts out a small $3,000 bet, more price setting than power, trying to get looked up by worse pairs while avoiding a big decision. Negreanu springs the trap to $12,800, polarizing himself to straights, 2-pair, or sets, and telling a story perfectly consistent with his passive turn. 10-9 is a sharp candidate. It blocks calls from Queen 9, doesn't block missed spades, and represents exactly the value holdings that beat an overpair.
Aces or kings? Can I say that, or is that illegal? Heads up. I can say what he has, but not what I have. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking aces or kings.
I appreciate you watching this far. Could you please give this video a like? Thank you.
And Shlomi's now thinking, if you've read me for aces or kings, surely you can beat aces or kings, I have to fold.
Negreanu is looking down on Jack-10 suited. Lichtenberger opens the hijack and both stacks behind are deep, so the pre-flop incentives matter. With aces, raising to 45K keeps in dominated broadways and pairs while leaving room to play streets post-flop instead of taking a huge 4-bet pot this close to the business end of a major event. Negreanu flats the cutoff with Jack-10 suited. Against a competent hijack opener and a sticky big blind, that hand prints by realizing equity rather than trying to 3-bet. If he 3-bets, he invites a 4-bet from value, folds out the weaker stuff he dominates, and risks playing a bloated pot with a hand that prefers multi-way, position, and disguised equity. D bleeds into 2 players. With top pair and a backdoor club, he denies overcards a free look and sets the price on a texture that can change quickly. Lichtenberger just calls with aces. That's deliberate, raising polarizes him on a wet board and risks pushing out Negreanu's dominated continues. With the ace of clubs, he blocks the nut flush, so he doesn't fear as many bad turns and can keep ranges wide. Negreanu's call with Jack-10 is standard. He has the clean open-ender to the nuts, excellent position, and 2 opponents who will pay him off if he hits. Turning this into a raise would fold out worse and isolate against the top of range. The 7 of clubs hits, and Negreanu picks up the straight at the same time the front door flush completes. Lichtenberger checks as well, which keeps his range disguised and preserves the option to spring a check raise. With aces that include the ace of clubs, he can induce a bet, choose between calling and jamming, and if he is behind, he carries 9 outs to the nuts. Negreanu fires 295k to tax everything at once. The bet extracts from 2 pairs and sets that fear a 4th club, charges single club over pairs that refuse to fold, and denies a cheap river to ace of clubs holdings that would love a free card. The sizing is intentional because it sets up a straightforward stack-off versus a check raise, and avoids giving a volatile river the chance to undo his equity lead.
Feeling comfortable right now. See? You can tell by my energy. Relaxed. What does that usually mean? Huh? What? Dang! As soon as I start yapping, he goes in. Oh, man.
Imagine that you are so good with the mind games that you can induce an all-in shove with just some yapping.
It's tough decision. I'm gonna need a minute.
While we wait for Negreanu to make his decision, please give this video a like. Thank you.
Because you check the turn. I guess you do that with the ace-high flush, right? Well, you have to have it. I don't think I can fold, though. Nice hand, bro.
This part here was inaudible, but you can clearly see that he is saying deuce of hearts a few times.
Called the deuce of hearts. Were you hearing me saying deuce of hearts?